Hello, everyone. Hi. Thanks for tuning in. Awesome. I'm just gonna pin my comment. Gonna get this going. There we go. Awesome. So we are just waiting on Antonia. You guys are just tuning in. Give her a second to join us. Here we go. Where are you guys tuning in from? Tell us where you're tuning in from so we can get an idea. Oh, hello. Hi.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good. You're sideways for me. Yeah.
So okay. My selfie stick only lets me go sideways.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, look, we can have a conversation this way too.
I can just.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you tuning in from?
From my house in Venice.
Oh, nice. Fellow Angelino. I love it. Wow, from Kenya and Vegas. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're so excited to have you. So for all of you who are new to this is part of our live Priceless Conversations sessions, a digital mentorship program Mastercard designed for small business owners to navigate the challenges, maintain their businesses, and answer any questions so that we can all focus on our future. As some of you already know, Mastercard has been introducing an expert a week and engaging them to ask questions on the Hello Alice Business for All community. I then get to host these amazing experts on Create Cultivate live, talk the talk and bring the questions they were asked to life, but also to answer your questions. So if you guys see the Q&A box at the bottom, feel free to, oh, there we go. Feel free to ask the questions to the Q&A box. I'll do my best to get to them. But, joining me today, this is our final episode, so we're so excited to have you, is Antonia Lofaso, the Mastercard ambassador, restaurant owner, and TV personality. As people slowly rekindle with restaurants and hotels and hospitality and all these other things amid COVID, the change of pace can be quite overwhelming for business owners. So I'm really, really, really excited to talk to you about your firsthand experience in experimenting with practices involving human interaction that has kept your operations going while also ensuring safety for your staff and your patrons. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm sure there's a million people that have questions. So we'll just dive into those Hello Alice questions.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Awesome. So first question is, I'm an event producer and developing a new strategic plan for the remainder of 2020, and it involves a party in a box concept. How can I go about incorporating food into these boxes without a license to distribute food? And I know on the Create and Cultivate side, a lot of people are asking for sampling. How can we sample our products? Because food, the biggest thing is the taste, right? You want to get it in people's hands. So what did you have to say to that?
I just thought this was a great question because so many people and so many businesses are having a pivot at this time and really look at their models and reconfigure. And I have got family members who are in the event space. Obviously, even our restaurants are in the event space. We have a catering department, and there is no more, let me come to your house and do something for 400 people or an event space, etc. And where we've seen, and how I answered this question was, everything is moving online. We have created, whether it's Zoom dinners or, other platforms that allow for large groups to come together and congregate and eat together and have cocktails together. And we've done interactive cooking classes and mixology classes and Q&As. And I mean, I've done this up to 250 people.
Oh.
So it is possible. It does require you to shift your model a little bit on how to develop these events online. And what I suggested is definitely partnering, because this person specifically didn't have a license, with catering companies and or restaurants in their area. It's a way to then help give or help, generate revenue through these businesses in collaboration, which I think is really important. So whether it's, obviously chefs who, are completely set as far as licensing can go and as far as food preparation and, temperatures and things like that. So you're not burdened with I want to make sure this food gets to the person's house safely within a couple of hours, and then consumed within a couple of hours, and all those guidelines. So my suggestion is, when you don't necessarily have that part of your business, I wouldn't suggest to this person to create a catering company through this. That may be a little like too large of an undertaking, but partnering with local restaurants to share in that burden, and then obviously to generate that revenue for their staff and for the events company. So I think the partnership with restaurants who have a balance and have an understanding of that part of it, and catering company is where
I love that.
where they need to go.
And you mentioned Zoom dinners, which I feel like are now a huge thing that people are doing and trying to figure out. So I think that's a great way for, a food company to kind of double down,
Absolutely.
offering a package, we'll deliver to X amount of people. They all eat at the same time, whatever it might be.
And it seems like it's daunting, but I'm saying we did it with 250 people.
Crazy.
And, the admin of the Zoom dinner or whatever application you're using just needs to be very diligent that people aren't like talking over each other. And, we had a musical guest, we had my cooking demonstration, we had a mixology guest, and then we got to hear from a lot of the guests eating and dining. And it was about 2.5 hours. And I got a ton of emails saying that it was like the best night that they had had since they've been quarantined. And so I think taking an events department and partnering them with catering and restaurants is a great way to keep those events building even through this time when we can't spend time together.
Absolutely. I think it's totally genius. Next question is, I own and operate a vacation rental in the state of Hawaii that has been closed to out-of-state customers since mid-March. And I know this because I was supposed to go there for my birthday at the end of March. I have a comprehensive social media marketing plan in place, but do you have any other ideas on how to get the word out?
Well, so what I had suggested is that, listen, there's nothing that we can do about travelers coming to Hawaii right now. There's just nothing that we can do about it. What this person sounded like, that they had all of their ducks in a row. They had done this incredible marketing. They had done this, they had taken all of the steps to really make sure that when tourism is allowed once again, that their site is flooded. And what I suggested through that is going over and above with the hospitality elements to give people the opportunity, instead of going to a hotel or resort where we know immediately a lot of those different resorts in those areas are going to be flooded because obviously they have tons of money to spend on marketing. People know them just through recognition of whether it's, a large hospitality group or a hotel group. To take all those nuances of hospitality, specific in Hawaii, like, having it curated to those very special, specific opportunities in Hawaii that we sometimes miss in a resort. So, I was talking about different, whether it's the macadamia nut companies, whether it's the coffee companies, whether it's the pineapple companies, all of the beautiful things that we know and love about Hawaii, building those into the hospitality of the place in which they're trying to rent, so that they become the first option. So I just said to go above and beyond, take all of those amenities and nuances that the resorts do, make them more special, more distinct, and more curated to the area, and really plug and play those ideas. Because I think, a lot of times people don't want this mass resort experience. They want these small, beautiful, curated experiences. And I think that was my, because there's nothing that we can do about people coming to Hawaii. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Be ready with the best possible version of hospitality. So when when the borders, or excuse me, not borders, but when the area opens up, and we're allowed to fly in and enjoy the beautiful area of Hawaii, that is where we choose to go.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to be prepared. It's frustrating, the not knowing of it all, of when this is going to happen, but being prepared and taking that time right now is so important. Another question was, I have a product that I'd like to distribute in restaurants, hotels, and spas. Who should I be seeking to speak to get those conversations started?
So I say this across the board with any business, right? You have a product that you want to sell. This is where elbow grease, put on your most comfortable shoes. Not literally, because we're not going places right now, but going above and being that person who calls the general manager every single day, the person in charge of that venue, and you're going to be giving a lot of products away for free.
Definitely.
Just know that you are giving products. You want people to love your product, to buy into your product. You have to own that love and passion for your the product. People are going to feel that when they talk to you. If you're calling them 9 times a day, they're like, okay, let me see what this person has. Let me see what this product is. Keeping all of the information that you have on this product short, sweet, and concise. Obviously, a lot of these companies, these managers who are running these spas and restaurants, etc., are being inundated with products. What sets yours apart from all of the other products? Have those 5 bullet point questions ready to go. Come in with enthusiasm and don't stop. Don't take no for an answer. I have purveyors that have come in to try to sell me, whether it's like incredible fish or beautiful oils. And, sometimes we're tired. I'm like, oh, I don't want to.
Yeah.
The people that are on my door every single day, I'm like, all right, you got 5. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Persistence. Put your walking shoes on and your elbow grease ready. You got it. You can't just say, oh, I emailed a couple of people and I didn't get a response. This is like, make the phone call 20 times a day if you have to.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I think that's great advice. Also, I did see a bunch of questions float into the comments, but if you could put them in the Q&A box, because they all went flying by. But I'm actually really curious about this question. So when COVID first struck, how did you tackle the innovation process and prioritize which ideas to focus on first with your restaurants?
I prioritize just based on gut instinct. I talk about this a lot, which is go with your gut, see what people are needing in this moment and fulfill those needs, right? So I prioritize just based on what I saw happening, right? Supermarkets were inundated with people who didn't want to wait online, who didn't want to be around that many people. There weren't products that people needed, whether it was toilet paper, whether it was plastic wrap, whether it was milk, eggs, like just basic essentials. So I really went into figuring out, I'm like, we need to give the people what they want, what they're demanding, and what they need right now. So pivoting within 36 hours of our closures to do a market, right? This is what we're going to do. I sat down in a very quiet room. I made a list of things that needed to be done in 36 hours. I got, the team of 4 people that I had with me, these amazing, incredible people. This is what we're doing. This is your task. This is your task. This is your task. And then it developed from there. So we have Scopa, Black Market, and Dama. All of them turned into markets where they got essentials, whether it was eggs, butter, salt, sugar, flour, as well as market items that were more specific to each of those restaurants. So Scopa had tomato sauce and fresh pastas that you could put in your refrigerator if obviously no one's eating out. You can make this at home. So we had that immediately. And then the boxes came, which was people still wanted to celebrate these small little things that we're having, whether it was Easter and Passover and Mother's Day and Father's Day and Memorial Day and how many other things have we
and we're like, and now Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Girl, I'm not putting turkey in a box. But people felt like it was this gift. It was this present. It came in a box. Everything was there for them. Everyone's stressing it. People are dealing with, this is the way we look at restaurants, right? We're like the band that was playing on the sinking Titanic, right? We just never stopped. We were creating the ease and the bliss during the time of craziness. I know it sounds crazy, but people are like, well, if I could just have a bowl of spaghetti, somehow this feels a little bit easier. Yeah. So we kind of ran with that, what is going to give people just a little bit of joy, which was, Mother's Day frittatas and French toast that was delivered with a bouquet of roses that you don't have to think about because you're thinking about how my kids aren't in school and you're thinking about how, work isn't happening and you're thinking about, I'm only living on my savings right now and nothing else. So you're stressed out about all these other things. Let me give you a little bit of like joy and bliss right now.
I love that. It's such a smart pivot. And, it's such a, like, to your point, like a little bit of joy people need. So we had a question come in. It's a good one. How do you get national press for your restaurants or how to make those contacts if you live in a smaller city?
So the only way to really get on the press's cycle without having a PR person who's there lobbying for you, because that's essentially what PR does, right?
Yeah.
I'd like for everyone to know we don't have PR in our restaurants. You know what I mean? I actually don't employ a PR company right now, nor have in the last probably 8 years since all the restaurants have been open. You know, that said, I realize that I'm in a different situation. I do a lot of television, so that brings in our own sort of natural, you know, press. That said, I have someone specifically on my team that reaches out to all of the heads of Eater, Bon Appetit magazine, Food and Wine, just like a PR person would, you know? And then we go back to that elbow grease. You don't have to have a communications major in order to do this PR generated style work. You know, you get on the phone. Hi, I'm the owner of et cetera. This is what we're doing. I'd love to send you pictures, say 1,000 words. Again, call. I always like to call out, you know, a lot of those publications that are cycling the same people over and over again and say, hey, like, let's look at everyone. I'm giving you my stuff. Don't I fit into this category? You know what I mean? Like, let those writers and bloggers and, you know, magazine editors know, do you know what I mean? That it's part of their due diligence to find those people that are underrepresented. You know what I mean? But you need to be your own advocate for that. You need to be your own representative for that.
Absolutely. And knowing that, you know, they're looking for stories too. So if you have an interesting story to tell and you can give it to them with a great photo, a concise pitch, like that makes their jobs easier too. So thinking about how you can do that.
That's essentially all PR. I mean, listen, PR agents are incredible. I'm friends with so many of them. They're amazing. I wish that I could spend the $7,000 a month on them. You know what I mean? Make my life, you know, a lot easier. We all don't have that. So when we don't, you know what I mean? Get in there yourself. The only thing that they do is they schmooze, they make friends, they're talking to everyone, they're letting you know, I just did this. You find you're in a conversation. Communication is key. You know, I don't know, send some cookies and milk their way. I'd love to talk to you guys.
And look, food always works.
Little food bribery.
Yeah, bribe with food, stock, all the things. But, you know, create a PR at yourcompany.com if you don't want to do it yourself, you know, like you can kind of create that alias. Okay, next question. I own a graphic design and marketing firm and I'm concerned the need for my services will diminish. Do you have any suggestions to stay motivated?
So I loved this question as well. Listen, online commerce, e-commerce is off the charts right now. They are not suffering. So your marketing skills, your ability to develop beautiful images online, you know what I mean, for people's websites, for their companies, this is not going away. You might not be building banners and signs and, you know, ideas and creating for the physical place right now because people can't spend money on that, but people are redesigning websites right now. So I suggested that this person varies their skill, right? In a bit. So that obviously they're working with no longer customers that are in the physical space, but on the online space.
Yeah, and it's a great time to increase your skill set. Like, there's literally a YouTube class for everything. So if you don't know how to build a website or create a logo or a video or whatever, like, look into it and just build your skill set that way.
But these graphic designers are usually working on a computer, building their graphics in that forum. You know what I mean? So to be able to just transfer that skill, may no longer be, you know, the specifics for, you know, like an in-house restaurant, it may be for their website because people are spending money redesigning their websites, making their websites more friendly, making them like more explosive because e-commerce is, you know, obviously off the charts right now.
Absolutely. So looking back at your journey, this was another question. What would you have done differently when navigating through the challenges of the pandemic, if anything?
How would I have done things differently? I don't know. We're still in it.
Yeah. Check back in a couple years, months. I
don't know. I'm still doing it.
It's crazy.
You know, I don't differently, to be honest. You know, I couldn't be more proud of the team that I'm working with right now. They are, I mean, just putting their heart and soul every single day into pivoting and making sure that these restaurants stay open and that we're employing people. And I just feel like at this point, I mean, would have said on a personal note, maybe not be so cranky to my daughter.
Yeah.
She kind of gets, my loved ones get the brunt of my, you know, being out all day in the world, you know. But the theme of kind of what I've said through this entire thing is that everyone needs to be very gentle with each other right now. You know, everyone's communication, everyone's way of doing business, whether it's with your employees, whether it's with guests in the restaurant, everyone needs to understand that everyone is going through the most amount of stress that they've ever gone through. You know what I mean? Their kids are home from school, work has been canceled, you know, people are struggling financially. And so give everyone just a pass every once in a while, just a little bit of grace, a grace period, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're all, you know, the best way to say it is, like, obviously we've said it, like, we're all in this together. We're all, you know, trying to figure this out, but treating everybody with just a little bit of grace, kindness, and, you know, with a deep breath, I think has been sort of the most challenging, but most needed part of this entire experience.
Absolutely. And so we have another question from the audience, but I think this is a good one. Do you envision more al fresco dining in the U.S. restaurant industry long term?
Oh, I hope so.
Okay.
I hope so. First off, al fresco dining, we love it. Like, we want it all the time. I don't want to give this back. The small little area that I have sectioned off right now, which was once a parking area, which is now fake grass and some string lights. I don't want that to go away. I think it's so important for people, especially, I mean, I'm in Los Angeles. There's not enough outdoor dining. You know, we built Dama years ago. Dama is 100% outdoors, and it feels great. So I do not want alfresco dining going away. I hope that people who live in warmer climates like Los Angeles toughen their skin a little bit to being outside, because I've been in New York and in Boston in the winter, and those dudes out there and those girls out there, they're eating in like 32-degree weather with like a scarf around their head, a hat on, and they're eating pasta outside. So I'm in it. I do not want alfresco dining to go away anytime soon. But I would like to say is, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this ability to be able to like have this section permitted to be able to sit and eat is suddenly so easy. So I would like for all the city council people to keep that in mind when we spend a year and $100,000 lobbying to get these small spaces so that people can enjoy outdoors.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, it's mind-blowing to me right now.
It's so funny because I was in Mexico and I remember saying like, oh my God, I love all these like sit down bars where they have like, you know, stools on the sidewalk where people can sit and eat and whatever.
Yeah.
And one of my friends who owns restaurants, I was like, why don't they do that in LA? He's like, permitting. You could never get that permit.
You have no idea what, you know, I don't want to get too much into it right now, but you know, our hands are tied 90% of the time. We would love to make these experiences deeper and richer by giving outdoor dining, all these things, but our hands are tied so much with permitting. So it's amazing that the permitting's been like, no, don't worry about it, just do it. It's the wild, wild west right now. It's the wild, wild west right now. I love it.
No, great. Well, hopefully that eases up as we move back so that there's more business to be had.
Yeah.
Okay, another question. What advice do you have for someone who dreams of opening their own hospitality-based business, but may fear now isn't the right time?
I truly believe that I would be cautious just right now because we don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? I have a strong following, which I'm so happy and blessed for. And that is what's kept us alive during this time. But unless you are starting a to-go business, unless it is a solely to-go business, I would just be very cautious right now and just wait it out and see, you know, as the year goes on, you know, as states start to reopen, what that looks like. I mean, so much congratulations that people have funding right now to open. And I've seen people open during this time, but in general, be cautious and understand that your to-go business is everything right now, because that is what is keeping our doors open.
Absolutely. And have you seen a crazy uptick in deliveries? Because I know that, you know,
I'm the delivery person right now. I'm working the delivery apps at Scopa right now. It's a running joke because I am so bad with technology, and I've got like all these different delivery apps, and I'm filling out, I'm like, because, you know, we're just making it work no matter what. Delivery. That is going to save everyone. No restaurant is too good for delivery right now. No food is too precious. Get on the delivery apps. We don't know where this is going to go, and you want to generate revenue so that you can employ people. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's so true. People want their comforts, like, you know, the food that they get every Tuesday or Saturday or whatever it might be. Well, thank you so much. Before we conclude today's session, Antonia, thank you so much for being part of this live stream. I'm sure this is incredible. So we will be saving this video if you just tuned in or missed any of it. It will be live on our IGTV, so you guys can go back and rewatch it. And thank you all for tuning into our last sad episode of Mastercard's live Priceless Conversations. I hope the conversations over the past few months have inspired you to challenge the status quo, reinvent your business, stay afloat, get creative, like Antonia did, and envision the fast track to even greater success. I've heard so much from all of you guys, sort of, and all the amazing, incredible guests that have loved this program. And last but not least, thank you to Mastercard for sharing Create and Cultivate's passion for providing entrepreneurs the resources they need to thrive, especially during this time. And if you missed any of the earlier conversations, do not worry. You can browse through the Hello Alice Business for All community to brush up on all your Q&As from the guests and videos, all available on Create and Cultivate's IGTV. Stay tuned. There will be many more priceless conversations to be had in the future. Hope you all have an amazing day. And thank you so much, Antonia, for your time. And I'm going to order some pasta.
Yes, thank you. It's so great to finally meet you. And thanks for everything.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye.